Well, first you gotta find the demon. If the demon can just
that's
disappear...
You just learn their true name.
Oh, Doug. Doug the Glabrezu demon. Alex, on a recent episode of the show, I was giving you some Reddit comments from a while back that were about stone. We talked about stone spells, we talked about stone circles, we talked about getting turned to stone and shrinking. Lord knows you don't want to end up, getting stiff and getting shrinkage. We definitely don't want that to happen.
Not usually ideal.
No. But at any rate, while I was looking through stone-based posts on the RPG subreddit, I came across one that was maybe a little bit more involved and more specific, but I really liked it, and so I wanted to talk to you about it and see what we might do to resolve this particular GM's issue that they were dealing with. So, let me read it to you. It's a little longer than the normal one, but just bear with me. It's titled, A Wish, A Village Turned to Stone, and a Derailed Campaign. Now I'm gonna say, I hope that they figured this out, because it was 9 years ago this was posted.
Oh.
So...
They're still waiting for an answer.
They're still waiting for an answer? Okay, well, if you've been waiting in stasis for nearly a decade, congratulations, we're here to help. So it's Pathfinder. Yeah. Okay. So it's Pathfinder. Okay. And my players managed to get themselves into combat against a Glabrezu demon. Context is a Glabrezu demon has like 4 limbs, big, twisted, looming behemoth monster, but that's neither really here nor there. Just kind of keep an image of something big and bad in your head. They're way underleveled, and there's no way they're winning this fight. The demon's motivation isn't to kill the PCs, though, but to inflict misery by granting them a monkey paw-style wish. The best kind of wish. When half the party is KO'd, and it becomes apparent that combat won't work, one of the PCs makes a bargain. He'll make a wish, just like the Glabrezu wanted. He says, I wish for my friends to be alive and unharmed. The demon laughs and says, granted. Suddenly, everyone but the wisher is stone, and the demon has disappeared. The one remaining PC tromps back to the village to find some help, but 95% of the village is stone, too. Only people that didn't like him are unaffected, since they aren't his friends. Now here's the thing. We're about 3 years into an epic mega dungeon campaign, and I'd rather not end things on this goofy note. I figured the PC in question could do a little play-by-post adventure between sessions, somehow grab a single stone to flesh spell, use it to restore the party bard, and let her do her 12 per day stone to flesh ability. It'll take some time space to restore the whole village, but it'll return us to status quo and allow the adventure to continue. Then somebody pointed out that stone to flesh requires a save versus death. I've already decided to hand-wave that bit and allow this to be a silly pseudo-not-canon session. Remember that time we all turned to stone? Let's never talk about that again. We go back to the status quo and pretend none of this ever happened. I'm curious what the rest of you would do, though. Would you require every friendly NPC in town and every party member to save versus death? Start a new campaign? Invent some kind of less catastrophic consequence? Very specific problem. Does seem like you kind of got yourself into a bit of a rock and a hard place, pardon the pun, situation there. If it's your campaign, though, Alex, you've turned the demons turned like basically everyone to stone. How do you? What do you let your party do?
Oh man,
to rectify
only
this?
One of them is no longer stone.
Yeah,
the rest of the party's stone.
Right. And there's some villagers that hate that person, too, that are not stone. So that's... But they're not going to help. The 5% of the village is not going to help.
They might help if you've turned the rest of this village to stone.
This is true.
because
is
they
true.
have loved ones in that village that might turn to stone, or they might try and kill you.
That is
Um,
also a possibility, yeah.
I mean, flesh to stone is one thing. Even if there is a death save, like I might just make it and give advantage to important NPCs, but might just derail the whole thing. Who knows? Depends what significance the town and these villagers have. I would almost say you were fighting a demon.
Yes.
So I would say that one option would be to try and get help from the divine. Because I think one way to undo this would be to destroy the demon.
That would be one of the best things. Well, first you gotta find the demon. If the demon can just
That's easy.
disappear.
You just learn their true name.
Oh, Doug. Doug the Golbrazu demon. That's good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Doug.
Um,
How do you learn the name? They have a name tag. You invite them to a conference of demons, and they have to fill out the
you
name
know their
tag.
true name, then you have power over the demon,
Yes.
and you get it to reverse it, or you will enslave it or kill it.
Oh.
Although killing a demon is never really truly killing a demon, so you probably have to give it a wish worse than just sending it back to the hells.
Yeah. Yeah. Can the demon just lie about what its name is? That would also help.
A demon would really tell you its name. I don't.
No. What if
You'd have to trick it and learn its name somehow.
Can a demon apply for a name change, and just
I
have the
do not
name
know.
change be something so stupid that no one would ever guess it? And how would you find those records?
I think you'd want to like enlist either the divine or a lesser demon than that demon that wants to usurp power,
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
or a devil or something who hates a demon.
find a little imp that's an upward motivated imp that wants to climb the corporate chain.
Pretty much.
Get me a name, and then I can turn everybody back. Do you theoretically, if a demon is able to use a wish to turn everybody to stone, they technically could undo that, I guess.
Essentially.
Theoretically. But if you had them do it, even if you knew their real name, would they be obligated to give you what you actually want? Or do you still have to, like, phrase it in a certain way that's going to keep them from doing some behind-the-scenes
I mean, it really
shenanigans?
depends on like if like you knew its true name or enslaved it or dominated it somehow. Which at this point, if you're under leveled, would be hard. I would go the route of hoping the divine can help.
Mm-hmm. How do we get the divine involved? Are we going to one of the temples? Or...
Pray.
Yeah. Hope that your character that is not currently KO'd, the one that's around, is like a cleric or something, or has some connection to the divine, or that one of your other party members explained like what god they worship or something, so that you could like take that information and say, hey, one of your followers needs you, or
Something like that. Some angel being like, what the fuck happened to this town? What did you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What are you supposed to do in that situation? The way that they handle this with the stone to flesh spells, it makes sense as a workaround. I understand that, but it is kind of silly. Like, I think it's monotonous more than anything, because now I gotta turn everybody back individually with the spell. Now you have to harvest 100 pieces of wood so we can get on to the next thing. Which, I guess if they're hand-waving it away, it's like, okay, you just have 100 wood. But in some ways, that kind of takes you out of the severity of the situation. I'd like to believe that if a demon comes down and can just turn everybody to stone, it would require something more involved and intricate in order to figure out a way to get back out of that. I definitely wouldn't do start a new campaign. I think that's just like...
I might.
You might?
I might start a new campaign with characters that come across a town that's been turned to stone.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And then if those characters can undo that somehow,
mm-hmm.
then you can get your old characters back.
You start a new campaign. The one player that is not currently stone meets another group of wandering adventurers. And that wandering adventurer group goes, hey, what happened here? And that character kind of goes, oh, so let me tell you a weird story about a demon and a wish. And they go, oh, we might be able to help with that. And then you go on a quest, and then that quest is the...
No. They just come into the town, they solve the problem, and then they leave.
That's true, and you don't know anything about their motivations.
Yeah, exactly.
Not a single thing. They're just the nameless heroes. They walk into town. Oh, everybody's turned to stone. Don't worry, we can solve this problem, guys. And then they take off, and then you just resume your campaign.
I think it'd be more interesting if another demon came down and was like, hey, I actually hate that guy, and if I do this solid for you, you're gonna owe me a favor.
Yep, that could also work. That could also work.
Either a villain or another demon that has a beef with that one. It's like, yeah, so I don't like that guy, and I'm gonna do you a solid, but you're gonna owe me, and I'm gonna call you on it when I want.
Right, exactly.
Which then actually is probably a really good way to do that, because then you can get your characters into a situation they wouldn't normally get into on their own.
Right, and that's one of those neat little things where you can kind of like pull a card later if you want to spice things up and kind of go, yeah, that favor that you owed to that demon, he's calling on that now.
He's calling on that now.
Yeah.
We've all been summoned down to a meeting in hell.
Yeah, we're taking a little bit of a detour. Do it when they think that they're under the gun and they need to get somewhere pretty quickly. Yeah, well, got bad news. Remember that thing you did? Well, the consequences of your actions are coming back to haunt you now.
Oh, how the turntables.
Yeah, exactly. Wicca. Now we gotta take you down to hell with a demon and help him out.
I think that's ultimately what I would probably go with.
Sure, yeah.
I was saying, because that's more interesting and then fodder for later. So.
Oh yeah. Not a bad idea, really, because any way that you can like maybe solve a situation in the here and now, but set up something that you can play around with later.
Oh yeah.
Is great, because it makes it so much more meaningful too than just like a random encounter that you get into, or like, oh, now wolves attack. It's like, no. This has something to do with what happened way before that you have already experienced. We're bringing that back. We're echoing previous things that happened in this campaign. And if you're in a 3-year-long Mega Dungeon campaign, you can backlog a bunch of these, right, over the course of time. Also, I don't know what happened in those 3 years previously, but there is the possibility that stuff happened to these characters that might inform things that you can do in the here and now. Stuff that they encountered, things that they picked up, characters that they met that might be useful in this moment, here and now. Yeah. Theoretically, it's really good when you can take stuff from the campaign and keep letting the adventure that you're on keep informing new things about the adventure as you move forward to kind of expand upon those ideas. So when you get into situations like this, you can either utilize it later, or you can reference back to stuff that happened before. New campaign might be interesting if you just want to do the wayward heroes come into the town and solve the problem, take off. Then your next quest after that is the party going, who were those adventurers? And get like following them, find out that they got themselves into some trouble later. Or you set that up where the party comes along, the nameless, faceless, drifters come into town. They solve your problem, but then they actually they say, we might have to call on you for a favor in the future.
Right.
And you get a raven.
Like that.
You get a raven later, and it's like, hey, we actually need some extra hands on this project because there's a goblin army. The interesting thing about this post is it turns out that the monkey paw was kind of played on the GM. It's like the monkey paw was supposed to be the demon, screwing with the party, but in some ways, you kind of monkey pawed yourself in the process by getting yourself into a
definitely
very weird situation.
Yeah, I wouldn't have done something like that. Maybe just the whole town, but not the party got turned to stone.
Yeah, and then you have to have a question of, like, do we solve this problem? Do we not? Do we have time? If you have some thoughts on how you would put this campaign back on the rails, you let us know in the comments down below.